imagine that's the, like, when you design games for a specific demographic, like let's say you want to be, boys 18 to 25, or,
Hmm.
girls and boys, like, do you ever employ like a behavioral psychologist or someone like that? Or is it more just I guess a feeling of fun? Like, we want to create something that's going to be fun, and you just grab an idea and run with it until you kind of squeak out a good working model.
We have in our 39-year history worked with behavioral psychologists, with school teachers, with social workers on our gameplay. It isn't part of our regular process, but we have done it. Our regular process is to take a stab at it and then go and show it to people, to go to schools, to go to have friends over, to go to some retailers who we call our VIP retailers and say, is
Mhm.
this on trend or not on trend? I'm not, when I started, I was 28 years old. So I was able for the first 20 years to know the market. I was the market, and then I had three daughters, and they were the market.
Right.
But now I'm in my 60s, so I have to remind myself every day that what I think is right is not right. I'm not the market anymore. So
Hmm.
I take my best stab at it. Then we show it to young. We have a team that includes some people in their early 30s, and they put their footprint on it or their handprint on it, and then we have to go out and do as many as 10, 15, 20 focus groups to get it right,
Yeah.
which we didn't have to do 20 years ago because I just knew it because I was living it. But now we have to do that. And, we're ending up with better product because I really never knew it. You never are the whole market.
Yeah.
It's just an ego thing thinking you are.
Right. Well, amazing that you can take stock of that as well. Probably makes you better at designing or helping to move these games forward. Because I mean, I would love to be in a focus group, because sometimes you're playing a game you bought and you're like, why did they make this like this? This is so dumb.
Right.
So it
Well,
would be
and the
great to
thing,
play one of those games and actually give feedback to the creator.
right. And I will tell you that most companies will say to you, well, you think it's dumb, but there's a reason for it, but they're wrong. You're right. It is dumb. Games get
Interesting.
put out with just things that don't make any sense sometimes, or the theme is off, or the size of something is off. When you put the board together and the pieces should be this big, but they're only this big. And it's not a cost thing usually. It's usually just the process the company has for developing the game is flawed, and for various reasons, depending on if it's a big company, the process is too detailed, and so Hasbro, Mattel, Spin Master might put something out that's not perfect because they have too many people giving opinions, and the higher you
Right.
go in those organizations, the farther away from the game designer you get, and then people are making changes that mess up the game. In smaller companies, it's the problem of they become too invested in the game, and so they lose all objectivity. So they miss some of the stuff that's really obvious to someone playing it for the first time.
Right.
And we feel that being aware of those problems puts us ahead of our competitors, and then it's just a question of us having the discipline, because it's the writing of the rules and the last 2 to 3% of the packaging and the development that makes it go from a good game to a great game. And we want to
Right,
do
I could
great
I could
games.
see that. Well, even so,
Yeah.
I play a Monopoly Deal, like the
Hmm.
that card game with some friends, and being ported over from Monopoly the board game, I think it's such an amazingly intelligent design to take that board game and put it into a card game. And me and my
Hmm.
friends, sometimes we change the rules a little bit to make the game last longer, or that you can't get blown out. But like, it really does take a lot of thought to create those rules, because it, like you said, there
Yes.
has to be the come from behind component. It has to be fun the entire way and not too hard to understand. Like, I think
Hmm.
that's why when I see like board game card games sort of games, that like I just have to start playing it to start understanding it. Because if you read the rules, it's so complicated. But if you really
Hmm.
get into it, then you can realize how fun it is or isn't.